Hello and thank you so much for joining us on Climate Check. I'm your host, Mwiikisa. Now today I have the most beautiful natural backdrop you can think of. I'm in the Simalaha Nature Conservancy in the Simalaha floodplains of Mwandi district in Western Province. You can see behind me we have wildebeests, we have livestock cattle, we have boys herding cattle, and this is nature at its best because humans, wildlife and livestock are coexisting. Now today on the program we'll be discussing the launch of the Going Greener project, and of course this is a project meant to empower the community here in Mwandi district and of course dotted in various communities of the district. And so we'll be hearing from stakeholders that attended the launch of this event. Join me on the other side. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi. Just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature, such as forests, has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change.
This project is important for this community because it addresses several specific challenges. Western Province is a semi-arid landscape, so we see it's very dry. This year with the drought due to the El Niño effect, it has even worsened. 70% of the people here live from or with cattle, so cattle need grass. Grass to grow needs nutrition and water, and both is at the moment a little bit difficult. And it's not only climate change that is affecting water availability, but it's also unsustainable use of natural resources. And here specifically how people manage their cattle and the grazing patterns, let's say. The project is not only implemented in Zambia, but it's also implemented in Botswana, Madagascar and South Africa, which have very similar challenges. So one important aspect that I would like to mention is also the knowledge exchange between the four countries on how to overcome these challenges that they experience.
How much is this project worth and how long is the project?
The project is financed by the German government, specifically by the German Federal Ministry of Environment. It has a total budget of 20 million euros for the four countries, so we expect 4.5 million euro will be spent in Zambia. And it started officially in October last year with the first preparations, and it will have a running time of 6 years, so until September 2029.
So far, have you noticed any impacts on the communities? Do they understand things better now from October last year?
Yeah, from October last year until now, it's a bit of a difficult time span, but we have managed to already engage our national partners, so the ministries that are actually involved in restoring landscapes, specifically with in relation to land. So we had here today the Ministry of Fishery and Livestock. We launched basically also the contract with the implementing partner here in Simalaha, which is Peace Parks Foundation, that has during the day also shown what impacts managed grazing can actually have on the communities.
And of course, at the end of this project, what kind of transformation do you expect to see in these communities?
So first and foremost, we expect to see restored landscapes, so specifically restored soil. That means that we want to see healthier animals. Yeah, they eat more. We also look at diseases during the course of the project. We also want to see that the income of the farmers is increasing, then not only of the cattle farmers, but also of the crop farmers. And we want to see more resilience in the communities per se, so how to deal with climate change and how to overcome the effects that are happening.
this is basically to work with local communities here in Simalaha to manage the graded landscapes using cattle. So we are going to convince farmers to bring their animals together. And then with this we'll have to plan rotational grazing, because we have come to understand that animals really contribute a lot to the degradation of the landscape. And so to respond to that, we have decided to work with local communities by convincing them to bring together their cattle. And then these cattle will be, there are so many benefits that will come as a result of putting their cattle together. One of which is disease management, so their animals will be vaccinated, will be dipped. And the second one is that market will be found. So we're trying to also create value chains from the livestock products. The third one is that we still want to work with the government of Zambia to see how best we can create an enabling environment at policy level that will respond to what is happening on the ground. The last part is that, as you've already heard, this is a regional project. It is in Zambia, Botswana, South Africa and Madagascar, with the regional office in Botswana. So we are working with CARDESA at that level that are collecting lessons learned from the 4 sites in the 4 countries. So the impact in 4 ways, like I stated before. So we want to do away with the degradation using rotational grazing. So that will be the impact that we'll have on the landscape itself, but the community will have to benefit. How? By also fertilizing their soils, number one. Number two, we hope that their livestock will increase in terms of productivity, because their disease will be somehow brought down a little bit, and there will be market, so we expect them to have income in their homes.
As government, we are interested in sustainable environmental management, and one of the things that we've been promoting is climate smart livestock production, and more especially in the forage and feed production sector. We recognize the fact that the major challenge that we have as livestock farmers is lack of sufficient fodder throughout the year, which could be attributed to a number of factors, some of which are purely based on management practices of the fodder resource that is there. So now, when you have projects like this one, where you are trying to promote sustainable use of grazing areas, we have scientific evidence that these practices work, and then we are sure that our livestock in this area, the challenge of inavailability of fodder is minimized. So that also does reduce pressure on us as central government to provide for the livestock in the area. In the event like we have a drought now, we're having to look for hay elsewhere in areas of abundance. But if we do sustainable practices in terms of managing our grazing resource, so we reduce the pressure on central government to provide for the livestock in these respective areas.
Okay. What impact do you think this project will have on this community?
You could want to look at the impact from different angles. First of all, we anticipate that following this intervention, you have a livestock production system that ensures healthy animals, which reduces the cost on the farmer in terms of disease control, and also it reduces the loss on the farmer's part when it comes to sale, because at that point the farmer can easily negotiate the price of the animal given it is in good condition. Yeah, that's from the animal part. From a government part, we are spending a lot of money on disease control. This program comes along with routine vaccinations, dipping, and other disease control mechanisms. So meaning therefore that the pressure on the Treasury for resources to control livestock diseases across the country, and in particular here, reduces, because we're doing preventive measures. So the little resources that government has can then be channeled to other needy areas. As you are aware, government does not have all the money for all the competing needs. So when we have such interventions, it helps unlock some of the money that was supposed to come to disease control interventions for other productive sectors.
This project is important for Simala. Like you may be aware, Simala is actually in the dry district, one of the dry districts in Zambia. And looking at a project like this one, which is actually responding to climate change, it's a project that is actually going to enhance some of the mitigation measures that will enhance livelihood in this district. The impact of this project will be actually by diverse, because I see it in the area of income generation. Our communities will be able to increase their income. I also see it in terms of productivity, because they will be able to increase the area of growing crops, and because of that they will also increase their income. And the other thing is also issues of capacity. Our communities need capacity, and this project is actually bringing an aspect of building capacity of these communities, either in heading for health or in agriculture, in terms of agri-hubs.
This project is very important because of climate change, and we need our communities to adapt to some new techniques in which they can find some solutions to some sustainable development farming projects, so that at least when these people, instead of practicing their old and indigenous ways of farming, they practice to new initiatives that can adapt to climate change. Because especially in these years where we have the El Nino effect, the indigenous old practices does not apply when it comes to farming. So this project is a very good project that our local farmers, our local peasant farmers, they will be taught on how to take care of their crops and animals in a sustainable manner that can bring them to even yield, to have some good yield, even if there is no rain, or let me say all these disasters which we have, especially that are aligned with climate change.
At the core of it all is the partnership with community members, with yourselves, to enable this implementation to take place. So it is crucial that we implement collectively and work together to make the reality of what this initiative is trying to achieve a success in the next 5 years. One of the key components is the Heading for Health model, which has already been explained, that it focuses on 4 key things. One of them is ensuring that our rangelands, the areas where we graze our livestock, that it is revived and we can start to see grass growing where it, for instance, had been overgrazed. The area in which we operate also has diseases like anthrax, CBP, and a lot more other diseases, and we need to be very active in terms of how we manage this. And Heading for Health allows us to have that technical support, and through partnership with government from the Department of Livestock, to ensure that we are vaccinating and surveilling and making sure that we are actually seeing these diseases in time for us to be able to manage them.
Also on the program, we had an opportunity, an exclusive interview with Professor Andrew Nambote, who is from Peace Parks Foundation, as he tells us some of the projects the organization is undertaking in this community and how this project is transforming the lives of the farmers, be it crop farmers or livestock farmers. Let's hear what he had to say. It's interesting what we're seeing behind us here, Prof. We're seeing wildlife, we're seeing cattle, we're seeing people coexisting. This is something that is very unusual. What's happening here?
This is a community conservancy. we call it the Simalaha Community Conservancy. So the animals that you see behind here are actually owned by the communities of Simalaha. And this is a partnership between the Mwandi chiefdom, or the Sheke chiefdom in Western Province, and the Scooter chiefdom in Southern Province, Chief Scooter. Yeah, so here we have, we did, as you know, as part of CASA, the big picture is to link the Chove National Park in Botswana through the conservancies of Namibia, the Zambezi region of Namibia, through Simalaha, which is where we are now, to the Kafue, the Greater Kafue National Park. So we want to link, it's a wildlife dispersal area. So we want animals to be moving from Kafue National Park through these conservancies to Chove National Park and back.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a true trans-frontier conservation area.
We've had cases of human-wildlife conflict, and here the picture is different. How did you convince the people that they can actually live with wildlife in peace?
Actually, the idea came from them. What we did was we had what we called an integrated development plan, which involved a thorough consultative process where we consulted communities what is it that they wanted to see within the CASA, or the Zambian component of the Kavango Zambezi Trans-Frontier Conservation Area. And one of the prime areas that came up, or one of the prime priorities by the people themselves, was that of rewildering this area. They said we used to have, the area used to teem with zebra, wildebeest, lions, and name it, giraffe. Yeah. So they said, you are not going to start anything new, but what we want is to bring back the animals to the smaller area.
Now, talk to me about what happened yesterday, the signing ceremony and the launch of the Growing Greener project. Give us a bit of background to that.
In Simalaha, we are growing the wildlife economy. Now, it takes time for the wildlife product to develop. As a result, we have to come up with alternative livelihoods for the people. Yeah, it takes 8 years for the wildlife product to get to where we can start having lodges and so on. We can start advertising tourism. So we said we cannot keep giving people promissory notes. Yeah. So as we have this long vision, we have to have short-term and medium-term solutions, and this is how we came up with alternative livelihoods. Yeah, how can you preach conservation to someone that is hungry? Yeah, and this area was hunger prone. Every year there was relief food coming here. So we said, now the first thing is to tackle the issue of food security. Yeah, so that people have alternatives to wildlife. So this is how we started promoting alternative livelihoods among the people. So we introduced conservation agriculture, or climate smart methods of farming, so that people were food secure. Yeah, and that we did so well. Okay. Then we introduced gardens. Okay. Yeah, now you'll find in this area people owning gardens throughout, and they keep cropping.
Talk to us about where we're coming from now, the place where the livestock is being kept together, the Heading for Health program.
The Heading for Health program is a program where we get young men and women, train them on basic animal health heading activities. Yeah, how do they look after their cattle? Yeah, together with indigenous knowledge, get Western knowledge, put together, we have sort of come up with a cocktail. Yeah, which is easy to follow, but enhances or improves the conditions of the animals. Okay. Because at the end of the day, they get better market, and when they get better market, they also get a good price for their animals. Okay. So this is what we have done.
Okay, and what has been the reaction from the community? Have they bought into this idea of mixing their cattle?
There is ownership. We have myths, where people thought that when they bring 2, 3, 4 different heads together, and then someone will use juju or something, the animals will not reproduce, and all those were just myths and have been, disqualified with or dismissed with contempt they deserve. Because now we have those, we have cows that are actually producing a calf every year. Yeah, and the animals are looking better. Why? Because they have interventions, basic animal health interventions at a very, very early age. Every stage in the morning, the animals are observed. Yeah, if there are those that are looking sick, they are looked after, they are treated. Yeah, those that are looking a bit weak, they are put on a special diet. Yeah, they are looked. So the care is better, and what can be better than better management?
And lastly, Prof, with the drought that the country has been experiencing, how are you managing the grazing for this cattle, especially in this place that is drought prone?
This Heading for Health program has come in handy because we have our farmers who are trained. They sit down together and come up with grazing plans. Yeah, so there is a shifting. There is a way of shifting their crows. They will put a crow in one area for, say, 7 days or 10 days, depending on proximity to good grazing. Yeah, and then move to another area. But while doing so, we also provide the basics. We bring in water. Yeah, we take the water to the community, to the crows, or in some cases we put the crows, which are shifted from time to time to where there is adequate water. So we have a program also of drilling boreholes. We also have a program of rescooping, deepening shallow wells. They are natural ponds, but we are deepening them. We also have within this IKI program, which we are launching yesterday, the creation or making of dams.
That's Climate Check for today. I am thrilled to have been in the most beautiful place of Simalaha, and of course you'll be joining me again next time on the same channel, same time. Thank you for watching. My name is Mwiikisa. Let's take care of nature because nature will eventually take care of us. Goodbye.